The music just really gets you going, though. Alright, we're starting this one at about 8:01. It was the hottest day of the year when Officer Brubaker drove me to the plantation. I was looking at 6 months, but the way these sentences worked, it'd be more like 1.5 years. You had to pay back the room and board with more labor. Room and board. Hey, Roxy. I was both lucky and unlucky. My complexion meant that I wouldn't be worked to death or beaten too heavily, but since I was poor, there was no way to get out of this punishment. They told me I'd be a foreman and not picking fruit all day, at least. I'm telling you this so you'll understand. I'm not a bad guy. Sure, I was convicted of third-degree murder, but I was only defending myself. And the nature of convict leasing was such that I really had no choice but to do the job that they gave me. Plenty of men took prison and died in there. If I wasn't white, I would have been more afraid of dying on the job from overwork or malnutrition. I thought if I just kept my head down, I'd get through it, and the months would go by one after another. I couldn't have been more wrong. I read in your file your folks live in Sarasota. You might want to move in with them when your sentence is done. At least till you get back on your feet. Remember, vagrancy's illegal and we'll get you right back into trouble all over again if we pick you up. And idle hands are the devil's playthings, as my gran always used to say. You'd be wise to heed those words. Unless you're looking to do another stint, that is. Able-bodied man such as yourself should have no problem finding work, even with a record. Yes, sir. Don't you worry. You won't see hide nor hair of me once this is over. It's all a big accident to begin with. I'm just walking in the light of the Lord from now on. No more drinking and no more fighting. You don't gotta worry about that. I'm not worried at all. Ne'er-do-wells keep me in business. Just giving you some friendly advice. I'm not doing a southern drawl. Where you're going, well, I don't reckon you'll ever want to go back, truth be told. No, I'm bad at it, maybe, I don't know. I barely want to go there myself. You'll see soon enough. And then, mercifully, he fell silent. He'd been a chatterbox the whole ride until then. I didn't realize it at the time, but both his talking and his silence was born out of nervousness. He was afraid of something, but I didn't know what it was yet. Cowboy Hawk, Cowboy Hawk. Fine, the plantation owner, I'll give him the really bad southern drawl. How about that? When I turned my head to stare out the window, I saw them. My fellow leased convicts who I'd be overseeing. They were walking through the field rows in single file lines, heads down, plucking berries from thorny bushes. It occurred to me how quiet it had gotten. The only sounds were the humming of the car's engine and the rustle of crop as the slaves moved through it. They didn't talk or sing or anything. Even the wind had died away and there was no birds nor bird song. Must have been over 100 degrees that day, but I felt a cold creep over me nonetheless, and I shivered. If the cop in the front seat noticed, he didn't say anything. He didn't say so. In fact, he kept his eyes on the road until the plantation house came into view. I don't know, Kia. I never watched American Gothic. Isn't it? The American horror shows. Wait. It's something. It was on FX. That's what American. Oh my God! Yes. Damn it! The cop was distracted, and I realized there was a whole car between us. If I ducked down and ran to the fields, I might be able to get away. The thought was tempting. If you hit no, he gets shot, and then it kind of comes back. But then the game soft locks. I'm not gonna do that. I feel like an idiot right now. I don't know if this is based on a short story or not. Is it based on a short story though, Rhino? I'm actually curious. A little curious. No, I don't want to. No. I'm sorry! But where would I go? Even if I escaped a dicey proposition, to be sure, the law would be looking for me. I'd never have a moment's peace. I still rue my decision to this day, but it was the right one. Wow. Okay, wow. I'm trying! All I saw was American Gothic story, and I'm like, oh. Instead, after considering my options, I knew I had no choice but to carry out my sentence here at this plantation. And it would be over before I knew it, I reasoned. Best to just get it over with and get my life back on track. Welcome back, Officer Brubaker. I see you brought our new foreman. You certainly took your time getting here today. Did you get lost? It just, they like, his dead body was still on the screen, and they walked up, and then nothing happened. A real peculiar sense of humor, Mrs. Amarantha. There's only the one road. You know none of the other officers have come out here on account of, you know. Oh, I know a lot of things. I know you desperately like this conversation to be over. You'd like to be heading back on down that one-way road away from here. You'd like to forget all about this, and you will, right now. So I better be going. I'll leave the prisoner in your care. Good day. What does that say? Police force! It says police force on his badge. Nutty's gone. George, follow me. Because you were dead, Roxy. Okay, I'm gonna save real quick. There we go. It was locked. Sword! There's a dagger sitting on the table. Will you take it? Gently to the sleeve of my shirt. I have to equip it in my hand if I want to. There we go! Okay, that's actually gonna help out a lot. Well, a little bit, but still. Tasteful arrangement of flowers. There are various spices and sauces kept here. Play music by itself. Jars. Box of, oh yes, healing stick. Thank you. Keeps us from injured. Knickknacks. Okay. Crystal ball. Weird baubles. Guess okay, maybe using divination. Please don't touch that. Oh, sure, you noticed that, but not me stealing all your other stuff. Okay, cool. It's natural to have a look around a new place, but you should not keep Master Edwards waiting. It's not a good idea to steal from Master Edwards, but you'll probably need that healing kit and that dagger as well. So to say I gave them to you if he asked. Oh, she did notice. Yeah, we're least convicts on a plantation. That's why I said it's a bit sensitive material. It's a bit controversial in that, but we'll see how it goes and how it deals with it. Now then. Okay, should I give this guy the southern drawl? Welcome to the Soda Plantations, Mr. Gillis. I'm Holbrook A. Edwards. And of course, you already met. I sound like Foghorn Leghorn, Jesus Christ. Mrs. Aramantha. If you'll follow me, I'll explain the job you'll be doing for me here. A foreman doesn't really describe it. Yeah, it was, yeah. I felt something drop in the pit of my stomach. I don't want to head into the darkness beyond that doorway. What waited for me, I did not know. But whatever it was, it filled me with a deep dread. Zombies, I say. Tell me, Gillis, do you know what the problem with convict leasing is? Ought to be it's the same problem as slavery. Any idea? Why, no, sir. I don't reckon I do at all. Now, George, if you don't mind if I call you George, I've heard you on the witness stand defending yourself to a judge. I know you ain't some slow backwater swamp rat. You just talk that way when speaking to people you think are stupid. Yeah. So, George, do you think I'm stupid? I mean, look at any for-profit prison. What profit are they making? Quite. No, sir. No, sir. It's just my habit to talk like this when I'm not that familiar with the person I'm talking to, that's all. I noticed the books in your sitting room. You must be intelligent to some degree to understand such a breadth of subjects. Well, you have a sharp eye, I'll give you that. The problem with convict leasing, and slavery as well, is that the beasts are too smart. But not smart enough. They're sly. They'll steal, run away, sometimes even resort to violence. You see, slavery is a choice, and too often they'll choose death. Ungrateful, disloyal, I tell you. I'm going through this because it's the entry and it's controversial and I don't agree with anything that I'm reading, but like I said, we're going to see how the game actually treats this very sensitive subject matter. But it's too heavy to bear, and the convicts are the worst. You can't even beat any sense into them. Many plantation owners have taken to just working them to exhaustion, but that doesn't work either. Yeah, he's the villain, yes. Yeah, Roxy, that's not a trope. That's literally reality. Prisoners are a finite resource. We no longer poor slaves. Eventually, we'll have worked these beasts to death and have no more left. Who will work then? The Irish? The Chinese? How long will that last? I tell you, it's an untenable situation. What if I told you there's another way? As luck would have it, in my travels, I came across a novel called The Magic Island, which deals with a traveler in Haiti who learns of the practice of voodoo, including the creation of a zombie. I say. Have you heard of such a thing? This novel was the inspiration for the Bela Lugosi film, A White Zombie. Have you seen it? No? No matter. We're not making white zombies here. In fact, we're not subjugating the living at all. That would be a waste. In the film, an entire plantation is being worked by these so-called zombies. One man has complete control over nearly 100. It was a glorious thing to behold. His downfall, of course, was using his power to enslave a white woman. The shame. Only a father or husband should have that power over a white woman. And he was neither. Thankfully, I did not have such base desires. But having seen the film and read the book, I knew it would be my destiny to turn my own plantation into such a marvel. There was only one problem. Neither the book nor the film adequately explained how to make the powder that creates a zombie. Further, at the time, I did not know there was a way to have control over the dead, only the living. But God is good. Yes, He is. Yes, He is. I could hold my tongue no longer. I had to say something. It wasn't even a question of whether I could remain silent or not. The words tumbled out of my mouth before I could even consider if it were prudent to let them out. Is God good? Jordan Peele, eat your heart out! No. No. If He allowed you to do this, I cannot agree that He is, as you put it, good. Let the dead alone. Only Jesus can perform such a miracle, and not in order to have control over others. That sounds more like Dr. Frankenstein to me. Oh, Dr. Frankenstein had no such control over his creation, and it was his downfall. But imagine an army of such men, with the strength of 10, never wearying or faltering. Slavery in all its forms would be over forever. It's a lot to take in, I know. Please, listen to what I have to say before judging my actions too harshly. After my wife passed, I didn't know what to do. I struggled to find purpose, to find meaning in my life. I allowed a certain ruin to creep into the plantation. The convicts I had hired grew unruly, untamable. I didn't even have the conviction necessary to bend them to my will. Everything teetered closer to rack and ruin. I had the right to ship, but how? I became obsessed with the book and the film. I'm sorry, what? What do you mean all the... What was I to do? I made plans to visit Haiti, knowing the undertaking I was about to embark upon would be very difficult, exceedingly dangerous, and could even backfire. What I had in mind would either be illegal immigration or kidnapping. What? And this is why I say God is good. He heard my prayers and answered them. There was a voodoo priestess right here in town, hiding under all of our noses. After being driven out of one town, she learned to lay low, practicing her dark arts in secret. Once she started peddling her potions and powders and creating curses and charms and talismans and totems, it was only but a matter of time before she ran afoul with the wrong person and they would turn her into the local magistrate. Lucky for me. Hey, Wildfire, how you doing? Been a while, yeah. Welcome. You see, by this time I had every magistrate and officer of the peace and every poet in town for hundreds of miles around in my back pocket. It wasn't long before the priestess was presented to me as the final platter, post-haste. My plans were progressing. These stairs lead to a basement that is down deep. Straight to hell. Oh, she fought at first. She didn't want to use the magic for my own purposes, but what could she do? It's no easy task to enslave a man as a zombie, and as long as I kept her in chains, she could do nothing against me. And so, eventually, she relented. This is, what's the name again? Sorry. Welcome to the Resurrection. We made a deal. She would turn herself into an astral, a type of spirit bound to me until our contract expired. Her body would be free to roam while her spirit resided within a corpse. She found a suitable one in the graveyard behind the plantation. Maybe she sensed my desires, or maybe she wished only to torment me, but the corpse she selected was that of my dead wife. I was shocked, of course, yet I had no choice but to continue. I needed workers who would not disobey me, and she provided them. Right. In order to turn men to zombies, they must consume a special powder made from ground human bones, and an incantation must be recited over it. A living zombie would have the same weaknesses as a person. They can get sick, get tired, or die. And so... She told me how to create an undead zombie. I'd first need to kill a man with my own 2 hands and then capture his life essence as he exhaled it on his breath. Then I would need to mix that with the powder. No incantation would be necessary. Kind of, Roxy. I immediately dismissed the convicts I had working for me at the time. I knew I would need to do this one at a time if I had any hope of succeeding. I chose strangulation. This had one drawback. They would not be able to speak, no matter at the time. As long as the vital organs weren't too damaged, an undead zombie can function normally, even speak. But a drugged human will make a drugged zombie. If the brain is destroyed, reanimation is not possible. Minor wounds heal quickly, however. It's fascinating. I rebuilt my plantation entirely upon a zombie workforce. It is the discovery of the century, and far too important to be hidden away on but one plantation. So many others could benefit from this knowledge, which is where you come in. I've arranged a trip to numerous plantations where I'll be demonstrating the creation of undead zombies. It'll be months long and quite taxing. I need someone to run the plantation in my absence, and to administer the powder to the zombies. Without that powder, they will no longer be under control, and they will likely rampage through the plantation and the town. Maybe a convict such as yourself does not care about such things, but I'm also prepared to pay you $100 per week for your services. The sentence will be over. Of course, you'll have to complete run of the house, including the meat cooler and the wine here in the cellar. I only ask 2 things of you. 1, you must feed the zombies once per day. A meal of meat and a special powder that keeps them under control. And 2, I need you to kill someone. Like you, he is a convict on lease to this plantation. But unlike you, his paperwork and everything regarding his arrest and sentencing has gone missing. As I said, I own the police and the court in this town. Oh boy. I need one undead zombie to take with me. One who still has the power to speak. He must not be too injured, for severe wounds will not heal, but instead fester. I hired you specifically for your ability to punch a man to death. Oh, I equipped a dagger though. I know it's a lot to ask of you, but please understand, I will continue to employ you when I return. You have a job, and a fairly simple one at that. With your criminal record, it won't be easy to find one, and not having a job is a crime. Which book, yeah? Working here is mostly leisure. There really isn't much to do. The zombies are tireless. They only require feeding once per day. Occasionally we must replace a zombie, but strangulation is a simple affair, and if I'm here, I'll take care of it myself. So what do you say? Do we have a deal? Okay, I'm gonna say no, because I'm not evil. No. Oh, he's moving over. Oh no, oh no. How can you ask me to do such a thing? It's monstrous. No, I won't take part in your madness. That was the wrong decision. You see, now that you know what's going on here, I can't let you leave. He's got a gun! Are you sure you won't reconsider? Kill this beast and be done with it, or I'll be forced to shoot you. Which is it? Will you kill him? No. Because it's the Deep South and it's convict leasing, so I think it's actually historically accurate in that vein. Unfortunately. Very well then, have at you! Okay, so can I actually win this fight? Master Edwards emerged. I love how he's holding the gun. Oh, we're there? Interesting, okay. Strong bat. Probes a strong, totally bad attack at an enemy. Leaves everyone pretty impressed. Okay, inspiration. Shout. Rusty uses fighting spirit raising eye poke. Blinds an enemy. So... Just a comment. It's dealing with a very serious subject, albeit in a horror/science fiction sort of vein, you know, raising zombies and all that to work on the plantation. We're white. The main character's white. You have a good point there. But like the skill descriptions are comedic, like tongue in cheek. I think that's like that's kind of jarring to me when you're dealing with a very sensitive subject matter. Okay, so I guess we'll just attack and see what happens. blind. Nice. I still got hit with the gun. God dang it. I should probably heal. I have a heal, right? Yes. Wasn't even full healing. What? I might have asked. Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna die. Yeah, so you can't win that fight, can you? We try the battle. Oh, okay. But okay, so it kind of goes back. Okay, that's good, that's good. Fired his gun. There was no effect of being hit with the gun. Oh, nice. We got a crit. We're out of SP, so I can't do that anymore. Melon? God. Okay, let's... I'll heal next turn. Yeah. Oh, we got him. Okay, we killed the evil Mr. Edwards. We got a healing kit, okay. You've made a mistake. Oh, we stabbed him with the dagger. Thank you. Oh, gross. And then she completely dissolved into dust. Daddy! To be continued. Okay. That was Welcome to the Resurrection. Kia! Interesting story. Is written very well. I can tell that right off the bat. I said no to the plot. And one. When dealing with very sensitive material like this, I don't know how I feel about the battle effects having like nyuk nyuk nyuk, you know, like Three Stooges type stuff in it, you know. Yeah, there was some. It was very sensitive, very controversial material, honestly, to make a game around. And it's the kind of stuff where you have to be really, really, really careful about how you deal with it, especially in this day and age. But it was definitely written very well. It was put together pretty well too. So it's not. I don't see. It's not risky to talk about these things. It's how it's presented and how you deal with it. And also, like, I mean. I'm just gonna say it, every single person on that farm was black. But that guy never said anything about hating black people. I just take prisoners, convicts. I take them when they come, and I just make them into zombies. So. His kid has jokes, oh no. So I personally feel that something like this can be done in a good way, but you have to have it takes a lot of respect for the source material, so. I think Kia put it into words what I was trying to get at. Yeah, there's a line between being historically accurate and having respect for the history and the actual real life things that this is representing, and literally just being kind of like a trauma porn, which doesn't really, it's like a little tone deaf in a way, you know? Anyway.